What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It really is a happy Wednesday. I can't even knock it. Trust me, I would be lying to you if I did. Even though Facebook is playing games with me for whatever reason, I have to figure it out. But right now, maybe sometimes there's blessings in disguise. So they sent me to YouTube, and this is where I'm at right now. So shout out to hopefully everybody coming on at YouTube that's going to chime in with us. We appreciate you 100%. I am Bill Forster. That's my co-host Kevin Branzetti, and this is Real Talk Chronicles. So if you're watching this from YouTube, please subscribe to it. It's sponsored by the Deadly Arts Magazine. YouTube is sponsored by Noah Wilson. It's sponsored by Leon Ellis the Chocolat. Sponsored by Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. Hey Vera, what's going on? Hey Stefania. Hi guys, it's me, Stefania. Shout out to you all chiming in. It's good to see you all. And Leon Ellis the Chocolat and Soft Illusions Art Gallery. Kev, what's going on, man? Let me find out how you doing, bro.
I'm
I
doing
don't
well.
know if you can see on YouTube, on Facebook. I don't know what's happening, but
So
yeah.
wait, are you in Facebook jail?
No, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I literally don't know what happened. I told you they tried to push me out one night when we was doing what's up, Mark? Can stop the what you say? What's good, guys? Can't stop the start. Nah, what is up, Mark? They can't stop me. I'm coming in hard body, man. Stefania said she said hi Uncle Kevin. Between I told all of my friends that you are my uncle. Stefania said she told everybody you're her uncle. That's what's up. Hilarious. So
I gotta take a quick pause.
go ahead. Go ahead. So everybody, listen. You know the elephant in my room tonight is how did I get punished that I have to go and look and find out what's going on when unbeknown to me. And let me put my glasses on. I apologize. I just went and got me a new phone, everybody, too. So I got to get my phone all ready and rocking and rolling. I got the ultra, the big joint, like the Samsung. I'm a Galaxy guy. I don't iPhone or anything. The Ultra 22 point. Yeah, you're right. Definitely tell him, Mark, hit the like button. Yo, Stefan, you're right. Vera, like I speak the truth, and all of a sudden last week, I think I mentioned it during the show. I said I felt like they're trying to pump me, they're trying to hit me out, and then next thing you know, I go to make the link for tonight's show, and okay, now everybody getting carried away right now. So I go to hit the link for the tonight's show, and this is what happens. So this is Real Talk. Oh no, thought you were on an iPhone person. That's probably why Facebook banned you. Well, it's all right. They can ban me because I definitely ain't doing no iPhone. I ain't no iPhone person. With that being said and all that, I want to talk about Buffalo. When Kevin comes back, we're going to get into Buffalo real hard because how do I get banned? And I'm still on Facebook, but I can't do the Chronicles on Facebook. For whatever reason, I got to find out why. But you want to censor me and stop me, but we got a crazy guy that puts all his personal feelings out on Facebook and social media, and then he doesn't get censored. He goes live during his killing, and you don't even shut him down. Things are very different in this world, everybody. Things are very, very different in what we do and how we do it. And Kevin, what you doing over there, man? Got a lot going on.
It's a green room conversation, this one. I'll tell you
Oh,
later.
okay. All right. Good. Good. Stefania said, "Did you see that the gunman created a private server and was chatting with, I believe they said 10 people prior to the shooting, like 30 minutes prior?" Yeah, Kevin.
We're
First
talking
of
about
all,
Buffalo?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What do you think about the Buffalo situation?
He is one of lots of violent extremists that exist in our country. As you know, my background, that's what I've been investigating for the last 18 plus years and researching and working on. It always comes down to people know, they just don't know what they're looking at. Meaning, like, you can't go from you're a normal human being to a core belief becomes I want to kill because of race, because of religion, because of politics, whatever it is. When you hit that point, you are screaming loud. You know, think of the people we see like left and right who fight on Facebook over things and how loud they get. And they're just, you know, they're very strong in their political views and one sided. These guys are that to the 10th power, right, which makes them very loud.
Right.
And it takes the public, the parents, family, others to notice it. Unfortunately, us in law enforcement, it's very difficult. I can't arrest you on speech, you know, and we don't have a thing where we put people. There are people who we've identified who have, let's just use neo-Nazi beliefs as one. There are people we identify having a neo-Nazi belief. I can't arrest you for that. I can monitor you to a point, and I can't force you to go see psychological help. Right? We don't institutionalize somebody, so we're kind of stuck in a bad scenario of what do you do? You know, there's not much place to go with them. Unfortunately, we don't have a system set up for it.
Well, when you say a system set up, I mean, like I said, I know this is the things you do, so I'm going to defer to you in regards to asking you about this stuff. What is it that they said it's not a system? Because the bottom line is, Kevin, Facebook censored me the other day. I put up a post referencing something that was said John Lennon said, right? Like being about being happy. And they fact checked me and took it down within a couple of hours. So this is why I'm so confused. How does they say a person that spews so much hate and division doesn't get censored and doesn't get stopped? But somebody
he couldn't do that on Facebook. I will tell you this: Facebook, Instagram are much better at this. Twitter's okay. They do, but they're not on those. They're on other platforms. They're in other places. They're on Telegram. Telegram is packed. God, if you hate anybody for any reason, you can find a group in Telegram.
really, really,
You name it. Pick a group. Why you hate them? There's a group in Telegram for you to talk to. All right, and Telegram's not controlled by us. We don't have any say. We can't subpoena it. We can't identify anybody in it. It's a black hole. It's there.
And I've never heard of the Telegram. So I've
it's
heard of the word, but yeah.
Incredibly popular. But you know, no law enforcement, us Europeans, we can't do anything about it. It's on a server in a country we can't control. We can't stop it. It's all encrypted. They're there.
Really?
Yes. All day, every day. So you can find, if you hate for whatever you hate, you can find people to talk to on different parts of the planet. And so they talk to each other and they encourage each other and they push each other. It's not, Facebook will get a little bit, and Facebook makes some mistakes, and Instagram makes some mistakes, and so does Twitter. But they do try. If our only problem was those three, we wouldn't have much of a problem.
Wow.
The problem is you have Discord, you have Telegram, you have other dark places where people can just talk and they find each other. You know, it's just not difficult. Where you and I growing up, Bill, if you had Crazy Billy down the block, Crazy Bobby, not Billy, I won't use your name. We have Crazy Bobby down the block. Crazy Bobby only had himself to talk to.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. So everybody ignored him, and Bobby screaming, yelling, and crazy things, but nobody said anything back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Today, Crazy Bobby can go online and meet up with Crazy Johnny, Crazy Carl, Crazy Sam, and they encourage each other. And then they feed into each other, and they give more bad data to each other, more disillusion, more angry. And it hits that point of, oh my God, I have to do something. Right? But those guys are loud and they're proud. I mean, this guy's loud and proud himself, right? Like this animal, right? He's loud and he's proud. Is he mentally wrong in the head? Yeah. But my opinion, I think anybody who kills is mentally wrong in the head. It's no excuse.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want you to ever see the light of day ever again. But I don't think, I don't think anybody who goes out to kill people is sane.
But this is my point when, Dr. Corder was trying to come on tonight. I don't know if she still is, because I wanted her to talk about mental illness. Because the bottom line is, I need to understand the difference between mental illness. Like, how do you go in there and you killing black people, and then you run across a white man, and then you say, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
So he's not mentally ill to me, where he knows. He
knows what he knows right from wrong. Look, he's mentally ill, Bill. Just like any, like I said, any other shooter to me is mentally ill. Like I told you, he's to be that disillusioned and hate people. Crazily, I think what I understand is like his best friend is Hispanic, and he railed about Hispanics trying to come over and take over the country. So there's real crazy where you have no physical control over yourself. And we've seen people like that. And then there's mentally, I guess, unstable, where you see the world in such an effed up way that you feel like he honestly felt he was doing good. Right? In his mind, he thought he was just, righteous, and a hero. He thinks he's a hero. In his head today, he is incredibly proud of what he's done, and he's going to get fan mail. He's going to have, people who are going to write things about him. Girls are going to love him. This is the norm. I said, but we can go a little more in depth into the case itself. So here he was interviewed for threatening to shoot up his school, which happens in every high school every year. Every high school in this country has somebody's threatening to shoot up a school or blow it up. And the majority, clearly, or overwhelmingly majority, are BS and all talk. But this guy had an evaluation done. And
so, Kev, let me ask you a question. You said something so important. You said everybody's threatening. I mean, are they giving problems like that out? I mean, the problems are really occurring like that all the time, where people
all the time. Anybody, like, it's bad tonight because I can't see anybody's questions on Facebook. But anybody who works in a school, look at them. Look at what you see. There is a constant flow of a threat. Somebody drew pictures about shooting up the school. Somebody said they were going to blow up the school. Johnny told Sally, who told Susan, who told the school administrator. This is something in high schools that's dealt with every day.
Hey, Colin, I see you. What's going on, buddy? Yeah.
So that happens every day. Now, this kid, going back to him again, he's evaluated, and we let him go buy a gun. I don't understand how New York, this is our state, right? So we can't go and blame anybody else but us. It's 21 to smoke a cigarette, to buy cigarettes, 21 to buy alcohol. But what age can you buy a gun? So you're mature enough to buy a firearm, but you can't handle a cigarette?
Yeah.
and then we have, we have a mental health law for people to
Yes.
take their guns away in this state, but it's nearly impossible. You have to actually like almost commit the crime, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't get done. It just doesn't.
What's up, Rich? How are you? Everybody, that's Richard Williams chiming in with us. Rich, if you can you hear us, we're talking about the Buffalo shooting. Can you hear us, Rich?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We're talking about the Buffalo shooting. What's your take on it, man? Rich?
Somehow the Buffalo shooter caused him 2G.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, you gonna answer us?
You're talking about the Buffalo shooter.
Exactly.
You're talking about the Buffalo shooter.
Right. So what's your thought process on it?
I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, this stuff been going on forever. I mean, my thought process as far as what happened is like, when are people going to understand that, this stuff has been taking place all over the country since we got here in some shape, form, or fashion. And if it's not going to be addressed by the people that are committing these crimes, and when I say the people, it's like it's a racial thing, And a lot of people, these white supremacists, are basically miseducated.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them feel like their problems come from the black people, the Spanish people, the Asian people, Mexicans. We taking jobs from them. We taking opportunities from them. Whenever they talk about public assistance, they talk about people taking money and it's on public assistance, and then they show pictures of blacks and Hispanics. When the fact is, the majority of the people, 85% of them, I mean, you got to check the stats on that because, I know stats. I don't want to step on it professionally. But, I think it's like 85% of the population in this country that are on public assistance are Caucasian. What the subliminal message is that it's blacks and it's Hispanics that are on public assistance and they're sucking up all and the welfare and all that. And there are a lot of white folks in this country, way more than people of color, that are poor and starving. But 1% that's causing this. So they're looking for somebody to blame it on and to attack. And media is spinning propaganda that through a subliminal message that we are their problem. And it's not true. I mean, we got more in common with poor white folks than they got with the 1%.
Yeah. Kevin, I'll let you respond. I just want to read some of the comments out here. Stefani said, yes, I saw that, Kevin. The cop said he was evaluated for the high school threats and then released because he was just kidding. Yeah, okay. Colin, you mean the Buffalo murderer? Who are you calling? Who you guys calling the shooter? Absolutely. I'm bad, Colin. Stefania said the irony for me was that he mentioned that the low birth rate of whites, and we just discussed that last week. Absolutely. What's up, Vanetta? How are you? Hey, gentlemen, glad to be here and see you all. Thank you, Vanetta. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Kevin?
I mean, I'm not going to go into the public assistance stats, though I could give them to you. He is, besides a murderer, yes, Colin, and he's an animal. It's uneducated. I don't know if it's bad parents, bad family bringing up. Who raises a child like that? I wish I understood that part better.
Kevin, hate is taught.
Hate is taught, 100%. Hate is taught. And yeah, You're right. There's no question. Hate is taught. You have to be educated that way. But can you learn hate through internet and friends and not family? Can you grow up in a household without hate and learn it?
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Sure you can, but it depends on how strong your family bond is, where someone outside of your household can influence you like that. I mean, if you were raised in a fashion where all people are equal, something has to happen in your life to convince you otherwise. Now, if we're segregated and I stay away from you and you stay away from me, you don't know my culture, I don't know yours. Yours is strange to me, mine's is strange to you, and sometimes different means wrong. If I'm not just like you, then something's wrong with me. When people come and you ever hear somebody say, "Oh, I don't see color," that's the person that I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Why don't you see my color? Because you don't want to see it? You want to ignore who I am and where I come from and my heritage? Why can't I express mine to yours and you express yours to me, and we can coexist?
Exactly.
But if I got a father, telling me all of this negative stuff about other cultures, remember when the Oklahoma bombing happened, right?
Yes.
The media right away labeled it as terrorism, Taliban, and all of that. And who was it? It was a white guy. But they didn't label him as a terrorist. They didn't say that, like when they said, Muslims did it. When they found out it was Timothy McVeigh, who was a Christian, they didn't say Christians did it.
I don't know who they are and who said it that way. I remember when it happened.
The media put that spin out there.
Yeah. Look, this is a common complaint I hear, but I will say this. This federal terrorism law, in order to charge terrorism, it has to be on behalf of a foreign terrorist organization, a designated terrorist organization. The only terrorist organizations that are designated are foreign ones. Right? That's it. There's no U.S. designated terror organization.
There's no such thing as domestic terrorism?
We use it as a phrase. It's not a charge. It is not a federal charge. So the feds, when something like that happens,
I thought there was a white guy that went overseas and joined the Taliban.
So he joined a foreign terrorist organization that is chargeable as
and attacked his own country.
That is chargeable as terrorism.
So if you're
it's not the color of your skin, it's not your religion.
And you do the same thing.
You have to do it on behalf of a foreign terrorist organization. And we have a list of, you can Google, foreign terrorist organizations, and State Department comes up with the list. They make the list. So that is, if you do it on behalf of them, that's terrorism. That is why when it's a mass shooting like this, the federal government, the FBI, does not come out and say terrorism, because they can't say it. They have to go to the letter of the law. You're on mute, Richard.
Yeah, I said then there's something wrong with that.
Yep. And there's been discussions for years about the
next time you have the assemblyman on who deals with laws, that's a conversation maybe you need to have with them, the lawmakers.
And this has been known forever. Like, this is not a new thing. So if you look at this administration, the one before it, the one before it, the one before that, none of them have changed it. Mm-hmm. None of them even proposed.
Well, they just passed the law about it's a law against lynching now.
Yes. Which was kind of more symbolic than anything else.
Yeah.
There's a law against killing somebody, right? Like, how I kill you, it doesn't change, right? We made it a federal offense, but it's not. It's symbolic. It's not a needed law. Nobody's ever going to be charged with lynching. They're going to be charged with murder. Yeah. We needed that lynching law in the South 50 years ago so that the federal government can go in and charge people, right? That's when you needed it. We didn't need it now.
Well, people are still getting lynched.
And they're getting charged, right? Like they're getting, convicted. And it's a different thing and they could still be charged. But I'm just saying, in the end, it was more symbolic than needed.
Well, I think I kind of agree with you, but lynching was more of a spectacle. This wasn't just killing someone; it was an event. People came out to see it. And people that didn't actually do the lynching still participated in it like it was a sport. And I think the lynching law might cover some of that. Not
Maybe
just specifically, the person lynched you is the only one who gets it. Maybe the whole mob that's involved, even spectators, can get charged with it.
Yeah.
Because I remember they used to lynch men and black men, and then the whole family would come out to see it, and they would take pictures of it and make postcards and sell them.
I'm just going to read some of the comments. Everybody, thank you all for chiming in. We appreciate it. Sorry for them bumping me out of Facebook for whatever reason. I guess hopefully by next Monday, I'll have it rectified, even though it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But I say YouTube too. Stop laughing. Anyway, Vanetta said,
"Hey, listen. I gotta cut out for a second. I'll be right back."
All right, go ahead. And Vanetta was talking about. She says, "What about the public assistance?" I mean, I think Kevin. I don't know. Did you say you didn't want to go into public assistance stats because you
want to know them? I can give them to you.
I mean, you can give them to us, absolutely, because
it's broken up: 38.6 white, 24.8 black, 11.5 Asian.
Yeah. No, I guess that just goes back to, I think, what people were saying, that people always see the poverty aspect or think about it in a public assistance aspect, that people of color are the ones that's dominating, and we're not. And I think that was just
well, you got to say, if you want that, it's disproportionate as far as the amount of, if you're 19% of the population and 25% of that, it's disproportionate. But I don't. Look, poverty's always been our problem in this country, and I think we look at lots of stats the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Is one race more responsible for what food stamps or SNAP? I think that's just a ridiculous thing. If we look at it through a racial eye, we've already lost. What we need to look at is how many people are under the poverty line and need it, and then how do we work to get people out of that? That's Kevin, the goal.
I understand your equilibrium thought process, and I appreciate you for that. But sometimes the facts are the facts. We people of color have always been looked at as the problem. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why a lot of times when a lot of other people converse about these topics and stuff like that, they can only look at it from the shield. And you know what I'm saying? The shield, not maybe towards you, but the shield towards anybody, because we have always been the bullseye. The bullseye has always been on our back, as they say, as Public Enemy would say. And that becomes the problem. And that entail is the problem. And then when we talk about racism, here we have a man, like you said, he can spew all this on these sites that are undetected because, like you said, servers and things of that magnitude. And then he can go and do this and be taken alive. And I think that's what's so disheartening for a lot of.
Well, why is that disheartening? So when the cops get there, he stops and he holds the gun to his chin.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to shoot him at that point?
Well, Kevin, how do you tell about and this is what I'm trying to say.
Well, you just had the black guy who shot how many people on the train? He was taken in with nothing. I don't. This argument I've never liked, Bill. I've never liked this argument that he should, because he's this, he didn't get shot and we didn't kill him. I don't. What are you supposed to do? I don't get that. Like, he's standing there, he holds the gun to his chin, and then he puts it down and surrenders.
Kevin, how many mass murderers that have done this, Dylan Roof or anybody else, that you've seen has been shot?
I don't know what the percentage is, but if there's a percentage that are killed, percentage that are self-inflicted.
I'm talking about
death,
when they go in.
But if they give themselves, I don't care about the percentage. It's if the person gives himself, if the cops show up and the guy just says, drops his gun, I surrender. What are you supposed to do? Right? Like, I don't, get that. It's, what are the...
Well, you know what's so funny? I don't have the answer for you. Maybe you can just tell that to all the people that have lost somebody by police. And I'm not trying to really change it like that, but that lost their loved ones by police and didn't have a weapon. Yeah. I said all. I didn't say just people of color. All.
I know there's when we go through the stats every so often, right? There are more unarmed white men killed by the police every year, and I know percentage-wise the percentage is not right. Like, I get it, but that's, you still can't, like, we can't complain to the cops in Buffalo because they showed up and the guy surrendered and they didn't kill him. Like, I don't.
But you didn't hear me.
And it doesn't have nothing to do with a cop in Minneapolis who murders somebody. Like, it has nothing to do with each other. You can't cherry pick a bad incident and then an incident, a different incident, and say, well, see these two. There are hundreds of thousands of arrests and interactions with people every year, millions. You can't cherry pick a couple, like, and just say, well, see, he's white, they didn't kill him, but if he was black, they would have sat on his neck. Like,
but you don't feel that way though. That's what I'm saying. You're technically saying you don't feel that way, but see, a lot of us will say we feel that way.
I understand that. I hear you of saying it, and we've talked about this.
But you just said we can't cherry pick it. We can cherry pick it.
You can't take 2 out of 1 million incidents and say, see these 2, it's not fair.
But we're not taking 2. We're giving you multiples. I just said
you're giving multiple, but again, there's still you're taking the tiniest minutia, and I gave you one right back instantly. The guy who just shot up the tree. He surrendered. The cops didn't shoot him. They didn't hurt him.
Yeah, but he didn't have.
He was a mass shooter.
Yeah, but the thing is, when they found him, he didn't have weapons and stuff like that on him.
All right, and these other guys surrendered they didn't come out with their guns saying they surrendered. Same thing.
All right,
they didn't shoot him.
All right, if you feel it's the same thing, I
what are you talking about? The black guy in the subway?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard what we were just talking about, Rich. And shout out, I'm gonna read some comments real quick. But before I read the comments, I just want to say, I was telling Kevin that I had just made the statement that, and this guy was, he was able to, he surrendered. And so Kevin was like, what do you want him, what are you blaming the police officers for not shooting him? And then he was saying that we were kind of cherry picking the situation because the bottom line is it's one situation that I said what I said, but how many countless people of color have gotten shot without having a weapon on them? So then he was saying we're cherry picking. Is that fair, Kevin?
That's pretty fair?
All right, Rich, your thoughts on that?
He said what?
Rich is gonna crash.
He said what?
Rich, where are you driving? Can I get like the cross streets where you're driving? Maybe I can get someone to come stop you.
Cherry picking.
Maybe we can call up somebody.
Cherry? Black? You must be black cherry. Hey, Kevin, man. Hey, Kevin, you know what I would like to do?
Sure.
I would like to put you in, and you already got the nose. I would like to put you in blackface, right?
I lose my job for doing that.
And let you hang out. And walk around as a brother. Just give me 24 hours.
Well,
this is not cherry picking.
Yeah,
That guy
it is. You're talking millions of
that guy that
incidents, and you
surrendered,
pick which one
he
fits
surrendered.
your. Yeah.
No, he surrendered. He wasn't in the act of shooting when they finally caught him. So there
And
was really
so
no
did this
need for
kid.
them
He
to go as
surrendered.
far.
This kid
Which
surrendered
kid? This
instantly.
kid?
Yep.
Well, you know what? Did they take the black guy to McDonald's or Burger King?
My friend, I have taken many
ask
of
him if
people
he
I
was
have
okay?
arrested.
Did they
To,
ask him
I
if-
have taken.
Did they ask
Rich,
him if he was okay?
Rich, I have taken every person, just about every person I've arrested. I got them food.
So you telling me that
what does that mean?
You took a guy who just
whatever
killed,
the guy's arrested
mass
for,
murdered, who was a mass murderer, just killed multiple people.
Richard, absolutely, I would feed him. I would feed him just like I would feed a rapist.
Asked if that's what you did. You said you've done that. So
I've never arrested a mass
murderer.
Richard, I've never arrested a mass murderer. There's nothing wrong with that. You take the guy, you get him food. If you want to get him to talk, I've gotten just about every person I've ever arrested, I've gotten them food. That was normal.
Well, I would honestly say this. If I had a mass murderer, I would not be feeding him.
No, see, well, here's why that's wrong, Rich and Bill. It's mass murderer. If he's a child rapist, you feed him because you got to talk to them. You got to get them to talk to you. And the only way, Richard, you could,
Kevin, cut this Barney Fife shit out, all right?
Well, you could go to name calling at this point, but it's still what we do. You know, Rich, you guys get upset over one prisoner getting McDonald's. Like, this happens all the time.
But Kevin, you honestly, you really don't see a certain thing, a way that this was like. This dude just went in a church and killed a bunch of black people, and they took him to Burger King before they even took him to the precinct, bro. You don't see anything wrong with that?
Nope. You want him to talk. You want him to talk.
They got him.
You don't know who else was involved. You don't know if somebody else he was talking to encouraged him. You don't know where he got the weapons from. You don't know if there's a second shooter waiting to do something else. You have no idea what's going on. You want that guy to talk.
Kevin, I understand about interrogation. Like I said, I got a bunch of certificates for it. All right, but what the bottom line is,
you can't as much as you want to take the guy to the ocean and drop him off and let him float and die. Our job is still to do our job.
All right, you know, everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I don't agree with anything Kevin just said, but that's his personal feelings because he's my co-host and this is my other co-host, Richard Williams, in the building. Listen, the bottom line is
we might have to call EMS for Vanetta. She may have a heart attack over this.
I think she would. Let me tell you something. Let me just read some of the comments on here because Kevin, listen, I know you fail on a lot of shit. You sounding real like everybody's equal in all murders. I mean,
they're not equal, Bill. But
you just said they were. You said you're giving everybody McDonald's. You're feeding everybody.
Yeah, I'll feed everybody.
I want to know this. So you're making them equal.
Yeah, you have to feed them all. Yeah, all right. That means respect. Yes. Do I mentally think of them as equal? No. Do I think of this as the most evil human being I've ever laid my hands on? Yeah. Do I want to be within 3 feet of him? No. But I still have a job.
And wait a minute. This guy killed 30 people. Or how many? 12 people. Now we're going to talk about this guy specifically. He killed 12 people, and you're offering him to feed him, and he says, "Do you have anything to talk about?" No. I want my lawyer. Right?
Okay.
Once he says, "I want my lawyer," there's no conversation.
Yep.
So this motherfucker, listen, starve. I mean,
at that point, you're no longer concerned with, yes, the conversation. It's a different attitude.
So wait a minute.
But what?
Wait a minute. They gave Dylan this. They took him on the way to the precinct. So you think they wanted him to talk on the way to the precinct? He's not in an interrogation room, Kevin.
Okay. Well, is that? Do I think? All right. Oh, slow down. Do I think that's odd taking him on the way? Yes, that's a little odd. Is that even true? Now,
So why would I lie?
I didn't think you lied, though. I don't know if the fact is true.
So what are you looking up? Did they take Dylan to Burger King before they is that what you're really fact checking?
Oh yeah, I'm fact.
That's why I'm on Facebook. Okay, I got it. So listen, let me read some shit because people want to fact check that. Yeah. So okay. That's right. The reason why there's no. Let me just read some of these comments. Shout out to Vanetta. She said the reason why there's no domestic terrorist law because a lot of white hate organizations will pursue. You know what I'm saying? So Kevin, let me ask you a question. I'm going to read back some more comments. Do you think they should come up with a black hate crime?
It's hate crime was already there.
For what? Black people?
Yeah, hating somebody for their race. Yeah, absolutely exists.
Yeah, but Asians have their own hate crime. Specifically for Asians.
So according to Snoops, it's not true. The Dylan Roof Burger King.
So let me just say this: the whole world knows that, and nobody.
It was one local newspaper said it, and then everybody else reported off of that newspaper. I'm reading it.
So I guess we should.
I'm using a fact-checking website. That's one of the normal places we go to.
All right, so everybody, let's go out here and improve the world and show that Dylan Roof wasn't treated like a human being after he killed people. You know what I'm saying?
What do you?
No,
I went.
But my thing was, it was important for you to find out if that was true.
Because you kept pushing it, so I wanted to see. If
I didn't keep pushing it. I'm just telling you.
Kept bring it up. The Burger King. He went for it. They were stopped on the way. And it just it didn't sound right.
Okay. Well, if somebody said it, how to get out? Nobody came out. So you're saying just right now, this is the only thing that they fact checked, and they said, but nobody's come out and said that it's fact checked. All the social media that's put it out there in the news, that's put it out there, Fox and everybody else, nobody's been fact checked on it. I'm just saying.
That's it. This is what This is what these sites like Snoops are for. They do the fact checking because it's not media doesn't always care.
Yeah. Let me just read some of these comments. What about so? All right. So you feel that one hate crime is universal?
So let's look up. It's a New York State hate crime, right?
I have no idea. I don't know. But then it says something obviously happened for this dude to do a 180-degree paper about what his plan was. She also said, what about just a mean person who hates blacks because there was no other ethnic group that suffered? And that also says we all see color. What is it we don't want to deal with? Our differences and the truth that has built this country, and that's hatred towards blacks, slaves, and Native Americans. Mark says so many get gaslit by Fox and others. Anyone who's seen this video can't see the despicable acts of this horrible monster. It's just down with it all. It hurts to my heart. Absolutely. Vanetta said there needs to be a domestic terrorist law. Mark said, let's make sure we hit the line button, y'all. Vanetta said the reason why there's no domestic terrorist law is because all white hate organizations will be pursued. This makes that's when they would hang us for a picnic. Absolutely. Shout out, open for the press. Keep it up, boys. Who's that? Theo? Let's see. Vanetta said, I can give stats. Black people have been blamed for being more so in government assistance than any other group. We're personalized, presumed lazy. You know. Vanetta said, let's see. I'm just having one of them days, everybody. Vanetta.
Hey, listen, can I ask Kevin a question?
No.
Sure, absolutely.
Hey, Kevin.
Sir.
Do you believe that there is a such thing as systemic racism?
Well, define it for me. What does systemic racism mean?
Towards black people, there's a system in place that discriminates against the progress of people of color.
Yes. Do I also believe we've gotten better over the decades? Yes. But
Well, you know what? That's like asking a rape victim, has the rape gotten better?
Yeah.
Because they don't do it all the time. And the person, the group of people that do it to you get to determine whether it's better or not. I don't think that's a call for a person of Caucasian to make. You got to ask a black person if it's getting better. You can't ask Jews if it's getting better for them. I mean, tell them that
I just had his internet
it's
pulled.
better.
Fine. I can't.
You understand, Kevin? You can't ask
No,
the
I mean,
victim.
look,
You can't
you
say to the victim that you think it's getting better.
Okay, fine. Do you think it's getting better, Rich? Do you think the
No.
world has improved in the last 50 years?
I think it's different. I don't think it's better. I think it's just different. I mean, before, I'm 62 years old. I remember when I used to go down south, you literally couldn't look a white man in his face and talk to him. You had to look at the ground. Now, some of those men are still alive. And because they passed a couple of laws, doesn't mean that their method, that their belief system went away because the law changed. They just realized they can't do it in the open anymore. They got to find a better way to do it to you. So they can't just straight up say, oh, you can't live here, or oh, you can't have that job, or oh, you can't walk in this store and buy merchandise. You know, it's crazy. You know, when I was a kid, you couldn't go into a store and put clothing on, try it on, because you were black. Because no white person would wear those clothes after you put them. People that say, hey, I don't believe that black people should be treated this way, they still wouldn't let you date their daughter. They didn't want you to use their bathroom. That glass you drank out of at their house, they put it to the side because they were going to get rid of it. These things still happen. That job that you're qualified to get.
You're coming in and out there, Rich.
Let me just read some more comments real quick. I know Rich is having, he's traveling. He's
But they qualified.
hold on, Rich. Hold on, Rich. Let's see. Let me read some of these comments. Vanetta, you're right. She said she's about to blow a casket. She said, really, more of us are dying at the hands of police officers when we have no weapon. We do it all the time and we end up dead. Breonna Taylor was unarmed. Philandro Castro. Stefani says, I think that for cops want to bring him in because they're a mass shooter. Stefania, everybody wants to you're supposed to want to bring everybody in unscathed, but dude, listen, my personal feelings, y'all really don't want to know. Anyway.
Yes, I do.
This is Real Talk. Personal feelings are what it's about.
Yeah, well, listen, first and foremost, I'm so annoyed that he can do that, and I don't even see the people in our cop groups, Kevin, really praising that black security guard who's a retired police officer. And you know what's so funny? It annoys me from all ends that I see all these white officers all the time spewing this and spewing that about hating the cop and this, and I mean, and if you hate a cop, this and that, my fallen brother. But I don't see nobody spewing on other. I saw one post and everything is crickets. I don't see any post about, oh my God, he's a terrorist, he hates, because you know what, they don't care. You don't understand what I'm trying to say, and it annoys me to it. And it annoys me that some people justify similar what you just said, Kevin, and no disrespect to you, like you said, all this was just an isolated incident. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I hate to see people of color try to say that, oh, this is we don't care about black on black crime. This don't even have anything to do. You're talking about apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? So, some people need to just understand when they talk, they need to not chew and talk with their ass and just they should just shut up. You understand what I'm saying? Then, like you said, yeah, he surrendered, but you went in there armored. Go out like the people you took out. That's what I want.
Yeah. Bill, I wish he would have turned one gun at the cops so they could like. I'm not a death penalty guy, right? I don't believe in the death penalty.
That's what I'm saying. You asked me what I was feeling, so I'm not disputing.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. So I get.
But it's hard not to want this guy dead. Like I said, I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe we as people have the right to take another human being's life. But what do you do with this one? Like what do you? There's no recovery. There's no
but let me just say this: all the answers. Like I think it was Mark, I missed it, and like you were saying, he's going to be glorified by the white, by the Aryan nations in jails and stuff like that.
He's
and you know what's so funny? I hope every black and brown person in the jails try to get at his ass, because you know what's so funny? We have senseless crimes in communities of color all over the world, fighting over turf and disrespect, but they think they're fighting over something. These people were in a store shopping, minding their business, just leaving their husbands or their wives or their grandkids or whatever they were going to do that day. And he went in there and with no regards to whomever these people were, wasn't even personal. And you just start killing people. And then you go across, you see a white man, and then you see him and then say sorry. And then on your gun, you got the word nigger and all that other derogatory stuff on your weapon.
You know who he was copying off of?
Who, Kevin?
The New Zealand shooter. That's his hero.
Okay.
The New Zealand guy. I don't want to.
He was copying off of who?
The New Zealand shooter from a couple of years ago. Christchurch is the town who shot up 3 mosques. He killed dozens. That's who he was copying. That was his hero. That's his.
Remember the guy that went to the church and prayed with them? And
yep.
He prayed with him. He pulled the gun out.
Yep.
And shot everybody.
Yeah. Stefania said, Kevin, the police did shoot him from what I read, but he had tactical gear on, so it did not penetrate.
No, the police didn't shoot him. The security guard shot him.
Oh, okay.
Security guard shot him.
Yep.
Unfortunately, like he went in there, he knew. So this is all public stuff, right? So he knew beforehand. He had checked out the place. He went there. He had saw the security guard, knew he was armed. He knew he'd have to kill him first. That was as premeditated as you can get.
Yep. Eddie Vieira says, I understand Kevin's thoughts, but it's okay for black and brown to make the statement that if the shooter was black or brown, generally he'd been shot. Because that's how we feel. I mean,
I got you. I can't argue with that. I can't.
All right. Vanetta said Dwayne Wright was unarmed and killed. Andre Hill unarmed, killed. George Floyd unarmed, killed. And
I could list white people who are unarmed and killed. There's nothing to do with not killing this guy.
And Tessia Jefferson unarmed, killed. Stephon
Because
Clark.
then what you I've said this a bunch of times. Then what you're telling me is the cops that were there, the first people there, are racist cops. So if the guy was black, they would have killed him. If he's white, they didn't.
We don't know that, though. But that's
you don't know that. That's exactly it. You're assuming.
No, Kevin, hold on. Let me just say this. Is it? See, I understand your defense, but do you understand how sad it is for us to feel that way?
It is. It's Bill. It's incredibly sad. I'm that part. I would never argue with you. I'm not telling you you're wrong to feel that way. I'm not telling you that either.
We feel that way.
What's that?
That's the thing that gets me. That you actually think we're not justified for feeling that way.
I didn't say that. See, again, I just said that.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I just disagree with you. That's it. Like I hear you. I understand, and I get you feeling that way.
Is that you don't understand why we feel that way?
No, I didn't say that either. I just don't agree with that. This guy would have been killed.
You think do you think we shouldn't feel that way? And if not, why?
No, I don't think that. I just don't believe that what we're still putting out here is we're picking an incident, one guy, and you can put Dylan Roof, you have two guys. I can bring up, dozens of black guys who are arrested with guns and not shot. Like we can go all day long. One doesn't have to do with the other. I will never buy into the fact that if this guy was black, he would have been killed, because that you're telling me that these are racist cops with no background and knowledge of these cops. I'm not buying that.
So what you're saying that's never happened?
I didn't say it's never happened.
How often has it happened?
How often has an unarmed black man been shot?
Yeah.
That I can get you. Would you like to know for the last year, 5 years, decade? How would you?
I'm not talking about the ones that we already know about. We live
about the ones that we don't know.
We're living in the age of the internet and cell phones, where all of this stuff is being brought to the attention to the world. And a lot of this stuff is racially motivated. Can a cop be a racist? Yes.
Of course he can.
Can a cop with a gun shoot a black man because he's a racist? Has it happened?
Yes.
Has it happened a lot? Can you give me the stats on how many black cops that a racist shot a white man because of that?
I don't think I can. They don't keep the stats on the race of the cop.
They don't keep the stats on the what?
I don't have. I've researched this a bunch. I haven't seen anything that has. So I get the stats on the race of the person shot, armed, unarmed, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. But I haven't seen anything give me the race of the cop.
Hey, Kevin, you good white folk, right? So I ain't talking about you.
Well, I'm glad I'm still in that category. I wasn't sure after tonight was going.
But you got some bad white folk out here.
100%. I ain't arguing.
Bad white folks that's in position to change a person's life. Not just a person, a whole culture.
Yeah. I'm going to need to take a 2-minute break. It's time to get my kids to bed.
Yeah. After you come back, then we'll close out. Hey, I just want to read some of the comments.
Before you go, say hi to my grandson, Messiah.
What's up, Messiah? How you, brother?
Messiah, where you guys driving?
He got the Trayvon Martin hoodie on.
That's perfect. Where you guys driving?
I got to have this talk with him. I'm dropping him off to his house with his mom.
Yeah.
All right. Be safe. I'll be right back.
After he gets in the building, I'll tell you where we are.
Let me just read some comments. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. We rocking from YouTube strictly. Appreciate you all chiming in with us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Vanetta, I know you wanted to get on. I see you, Theo. You said if this guy was a Muslim, Kevin would have been all over the facts. Yeah, like you said, Vanetta said they gave the boy food because he hadn't eaten in days. Give me a freaking break. Absolutely. Vanessa said, as much as we want, as may think it's gotten better, it hasn't, because we are still fighting for the same rights we have always fought for. The scales are on balance. Absolutely. That was what you were referring to, Rich. Yeah, Kevin he's a hot mess tonight. Helena Crump is in. She said, Mr. Williams is correct. Absolutely. Vanessa said, yes, they do. If hidden by orange face, Trump has given white people courage to think that they can say to do whatever to black and the opportunity minority groups, and there are no consequences. Absolutely. Thank you, Eddie. It's a very good point. Where's the blue lives matter when it comes to the retired officer that gave his life? Now they're quiet. Absolutely. Elderly just shopping, right, Helena? Vanetta said, I get what Kevin is saying. He gave up and the police couldn't just shoot him. However, you know what's so Vanetta? I'm gonna say this, Rich. We know they couldn't just do that, but the bottom line is we see them shoot unarmed kids. You know what I'm saying? And we wish they would have did. Hold on, everybody. Rich, say something to the people.
Well, listen. Again, this is a ongoing problem since day one, man. We got to figure out how to really, really address this, because we continue to get killed by police officers that should never have the job. This job, and I'm not a cop, I've never been a cop, but I respect the job that police officers are tasked to do. It takes a special individual to put on that badge and suit up with that bulletproof vest and that gun and whatever he needs to go out and do a job that he's tasked and he agreed to do. And that's to protect and serve the public and to be fair. But at the same time, he's putting his life on the line to do this job. Just like anybody that would join the military, they know that they're putting themselves on the line. And this not just affects them, and it affects their family, but this is the job that they chose. Just like firemen decide to be firemen and they go in that burning building with the risk of losing their lives. This is something that they're tasked to do. But there's a murky area where that person then feels like, maybe, hey, I'm not getting paid enough to do this, so I want to take some of this money that I'm getting from these drug dealers, or I don't like these particular group of people, and I was raised to believe that they are animals, so they don't deserve to get policed like my people get policed, because they are just different. They look different. They talk different. Everything about them is different. So I got to treat them different. That police officer is a problem. Now, this whole thing about this white supremacy, there's recruiting going on for this. I mean, I saw an episode of Real Sports, right? Where in England, the game soccer, when they play soccer in England, there's a section that the government sections off for white supremacists. And they actually have like dummies, nooses hung around their necks and throw them from the rafters. And they got all of these words, nigger and all of that. And every time a black player touches the ball, that section of white supremacists makes a noise like a gorilla and throws bananas on the field. This is during a professional soccer game. And Brian Gumbel was asking them, why are you letting them do this? And they really didn't have an answer for it. And the guys that were in that section, they interviewed them and they were saying, this is where we recruit. white supremacists at sporting events in England. This is something that people are being taught, encouraged, and brainwashed to believe that all of their ills and all of their woes is because of another person's color. And there are people out there that turn a blind eye to it because they truly believe that too. But they can't be on the surface supportive of a white supremacist group. So what they do is behind closed doors, they create policies. They do things that allow that group to flourish. They protect them by acting like it's not really that. It's not that serious. And that's the problem. When you start defending this shit, that's the problem. Is everybody on mute?
I was on mute. I said, I was sorry. I don't know who's defending it. I know us in law enforcement investigating. It's, we spend a lot of time, a lot of effort investigating all violent extremists with no exceptions.
With no exceptions.
Nope. It's a world I've been working in a long time,
I'm
my
gonna tell
friend.
you something, Kevin. There's one thing for certain: white folks ain't got to never worry about what we go through.
Agreed. But you still didn't tell me where you were driving.
I'm on Boston Road in White Plains.
The one thing I think, like Seven, I think Eddie Vieira said.
Yeah, he's on Boston Road. Get him.
Look, I just got the package.
Malika's laughing. Malika's laughing. She said, "Get him." Yo, listen.
I just got the package.
Yeah.
If I see a light flash behind him, I'm gonna pee my pants. I'll laugh so hard.
Yeah. He said, "Get him and shit." Yeah.
I don't know what's in this bag my grandson gave me, but I think it's a pack of Skittles in here.
Yeah. Yo, you're right. Yo, Mark said it. I see everybody's comments. I'm just going to read them. She said, Vanetta said, I get what Kevin is saying. He gave up and the police couldn't just shoot him. However, they do it to us all the time with no regards because of our life meaning nothing. Helen says, yes, they've welcomed him in church. Eddie Vieira said, rationally thinking, arrest him. Emotionally thinking, he should be put in a firing squad. Mark said, yeah, my question to God is why us? What did we do to cause this? The cowards are shooting at targets that won't or can't shoot back. Yeah, and the crazy thing, he ain't going into Harlem doing none of this shit or Brooklyn. He going into Buffalo and the Star.
Hey, yo, you know what? Somebody told me, I haven't seen it because I haven't been home to get on the news yet, that some white supremacist was on 125th Street.
Oh, I saw the video and got smacked around. He got his ass handed to him. Yeah. I don't know when it was, though. I think I got the clip. Somebody sent it to me. Oh, what the hell was that? Vanetta said, I have a better one. When the Winter Olympics in 2022 was being held in Beijing, black athletes were getting off the bus and Chinese people were calling them the N-word. That's recent. Yeah, black athletes should have jumped over that fence and gave them all of the rice pudding they could handle. You know what I'm saying? It just all the rice cakes they could handle. I'd have gave them the business. Everybody, I have company in my house, and I don't want to be rude to them unexpectedly. I appreciate you all. Kevin and Rich, y'all have any closing remarks? I'll let y'all finish that out, definitely, and closing remarks, because the bottom line is we'll definitely pick this up again. I mean, I think, Kevin, I commend you for trying to have an equal road by this, but sometimes you're just going to have to walk and jump on one side, baby, because when the revolution comes, because what we don't want is copycat killers. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to get them.
Yeah, but what's going to happen when some blacks or Latins start killing white people?
Yeah, you're gonna look.
We haven't got that yet. We haven't got that yet.
And listen, that's
we haven't
when it's going to be a problem. That's when the understanding, the equality on this shit is going to go out the window. The minute some of those heads start dropping off, oh hell no.
Yo, listen. Even when they went to that softball field and they shot some of those senators playing softball, I think it was a white on white person shooting it. They was like, okay, we don't care, and we'll talk about more gun laws and stuff like that. You know, because I feel like maybe right now everybody need to bear arms. Because if we bear arms, then listen, everybody would have been shooting that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, remember I told you there's a buddy of mine who used to be a school teacher, lives in Pennsylvania, and he wanted to come on and talk about that.
Yeah, we could do that. But like I said, listen, I guarantee you, if we had 3 shootings, God forbid, and I say this with all sincerity, God forbid, go up and kill some white people, multiple white people in churches or grocery stores or some shit, whatever, I bet you there'd be some laws made, and I would hate to see or want to see if that person if he was a person of color doing the shooting, would he go alive?
Bill, there'd be all-out war on every black man in this country. Yep. You would have to carry around a card that said you okay.
Yeah.
That you're okay, black guy.
So, yo, Kevin, we'll pick that up next Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll have some more people and rock out. Hopefully, we'll be able to be back to our normal way. If not, well, then we just go with what the hand has dealt us. I apologize, everything, but thank you. This is what it is. Rich, give us some closing remarks, whatever you want to say, Kevin, and give us some closing remarks, and then we're out of here, fellas. I appreciate you both for being with me tonight, like always, and I appreciate everybody for chiming in. Thank you.
Hey, listen, all I can say is the change is going to come. It's going to come sooner or later. Kevin?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was quick. You're usually full of a lot more hot air.
Nah, I did one of your moves.
Now, see, we talk about this often. This is what it's supposed to be about in the world. We completely disagree on some things. We occasionally even annoy the heck out of each other on some things. We walk away laughing, shaking hands, smiling at each other, because that's the God's honest truth of how we feel about each other. Right? And that's what life's supposed to be about.
We didn't shoot each other, Kevin.
Though me and Rich have never physically met, so I don't know. He might shoot me one day. We don't know. Especially if he gets pulled over tonight because I jinxed him.
Kevin, I don't have a license to carry. At least not in this state.
But that's
well, in New York, you don't need one now. Damn. What I'm saying?
Hey, yo, from what I understand, it's coming.
Yeah, they might overturn the gun laws here.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
the right to carry may change. DC had a problem years ago.
I'm gonna start a clothing line of bulletproof clothing.
Yeah, it's a strange world, but getting back to that, that's what it's supposed to be about. You have to talk to each other. You got to be out there to be. You got to talk to the other side. You can't just rely on listening to your media on what the other side's talking about, and me listening to mine what your side is talking. It doesn't work. We're allowed to still be friends. That's what we're supposed to be. You can have disagreements. If everybody left everybody they disagreed with, you'd be sitting on an island by yourself. We need a little more talking to each other, and I wish our politicians did this. The first politician who I see talking about unity and bringing people together and trying to talk to both sides is the man I vote for, or woman. Sorry, it's the person I vote for. I don't care about their public, their affiliation with party. With all that said, the weather is beautiful. Get out. Don't spend too much time online. As much as everything is horrible to see, you can't change a lot of it unless you catch your own breath. Everybody knows my thing. I like to go out every weekend. Stretch my leg, get to the mountains.
And leave that little voodoo doll home and shit. Yo, Rich, you need to have a little voodoo doll online and shit. Yeah.
My Bigfoot. I'm gonna start bringing this guy out with me hiking.
No, Yeah, right. He ain't doing no good either. He ain't gonna save nobody. Yo, everybody, I appreciate you. Kevin, I'll call you later on tonight, or I'll call you tomorrow so you can tell me about the green room thing that
All
we
right,
were
dude.
talking about. Rich, love you like anything. I see you. Maybe I'll see you Saturday, Rich. Anybody, we having a brunch party if y'all free. Come by, Row House. We're there. We chopping it up. We doing our thing. Open invitation.
I guess he said no because he just hung up on you.
Yeah, right. You got a lot of nerve and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, peace and love, respect, real talk. Be careful out there.
And everybody message Facebook and say, what the heck?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they kind of threw us off our mojo tonight, man. You know what I'm saying?
I miss all the comments there.
Yeah, exactly, man. All right, brother.
All right. Good night.
Good
Enjoy.
night. Good night.